Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is another session of Chief Artisan Thursday, and we are back in the studio with
Nicole.
from helpmamaremote.com. She's also my stylist for many, 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 many moons and years. So it's already season 5 in TOC Town. And what we decided to do for this month of February is to do a review of some of the looks, some of the styles that Nicole's just artistic handiwork has given me throughout the years. So join us as we review the history. But first, I want to go ahead and introduce Nicole's professional side to you. So, Nicole, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself as the professional hairstylist that you are and beautician?
Okay. Okay, so I've been a hairstylist for over 20 years now, and I work independently as well, like with some product development companies over the years, in test salons, creating products and things like that. So that's pretty much my background as a hairstylist.
Okay, and eventually you started going into your own thing when you started helpmamaremote.com. So you have a few clients, still under your belt. But what we wanted to do today was, let's say you're going to transition to a new job, or prom season is coming up,
Hmm.
wedding season is coming up. If someone is looking for a hairstylist or a professional person to start a new journey with, what are some of the tips that you would tell them to look for?
Um, First and foremost, and I think about this one answer will take them pretty much anywhere, is referrals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you work, by referrals, a trustworthy referral, from someone that you can actually trust. So that means the person that's referring this hairstylist to you, what is their character, because just because somebody refers someone to you does not necessarily mean that when you go to that hairstylist that you're going to be pleased, because everybody's different, but if you go by referrals, it pretty much can help you gauge if you're going to like the hairstylist, especially if you see the person that's referring you, if you see their hair and you really like how their hair looks, and that's pretty much how you can go by that. Now also you would ask, are they timely, um do they go by appointments? Kind of get the kind of the personality of that hairstylist, so you won't waste your time, because it may be somebody that you're not, looking to, do business with as well.
Yeah, because one time, I actually saw it was actually a referral,
Hmm.
and not to name names, because different hairs, different people's, different times, different places. That's why it's good to have a discussion about this,
Hmm.
because they did my hair, because I was watching them do somebody else's hair, and eventually he came to mine, and it was my first time there. He was a referral, and the first thing that he did was, when he touched my hair, was like, this is not your real length. Your hair is in terrible condition.
Hmm.
And it's like, granted, it was,
Hmm.
but talk us through, like, let's say your hair is damaged,
Hmm.
based on someone else doing your hair. What
Okay.
are some of kind of the therapeutic, conversations you need to start having with a new person?
Um, I believe giving them your history, being honest. So, say for instance, if call you call over the phone, and you're introducing yourself and you're looking for a hairstylist, I would just give them like a brief, synopsis of what's going on. I've been going to a hairstylist for this many years. I'm having some breakage, so I'm not, please, blah, blah, or something like that. Or if you go in, and another good thing is go and have a consultation. A lot of times we make an appointment, you go into a salon, like you say, you may have seen them, someone else's hair that they've done, but you have never seen this person. You don't know how, if you're going to click with this person, how the vibe is going to be, be with this person. So if you have an in salon consultation, it kind of gives puts the edge off, kind of gives you a little, makes you feel a little bit more comfortable when you can see and they relate to you, talk to you about your hair. And it also kind of tells you how they really feel about healthy hair, because if that's something that you're looking for, you want your hair to look healthy, vibrant, beautiful, gorgeous, and things like that. It'll let you know if that person is into that, or if they like to style hair, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think an in salon consultation is like one of the best, because within 15 minutes, if you really want to deal with somebody, or if you want to do business with somebody.
Yeah, and this brings me to my next thing. Stick around, people, because we have a ton of things to talk about. And if you actually want to give Nicole a question about your hair or choosing a stylist, and also her husband is a barber, so they have experienced many decades of just different people, different styles, and different communities. You can always drop us a note at toctown14@gmail.com. But I travel a lot, and I've been traveling for a lot of years since I was in college. And one time, my cousin actually took me to some place. Again, it was a male who
Mhm.
was doing my hair. I have nothing against men doing hair, but
Mhm.
we're not developing a good track record here. And it was a referral, so it wasn't like I just dropped in and said, "Hey, do my hair." And he did my hair, and it turned out horrible,
Mhm.
because one of the things was the perception was, oh, this is a posh place, and
Mhm.
he does excellent hair. He had done my cousin's hair, so of course you should trust him.
Mhm.
So let's talk about, sometimes when you see these pictures in magazines, or you see the hair done on television, let's get people back to reality on what it actually takes to get through a first appointment in doing your hair. Like, someone comes to you new, they've been referred. What would be your first question you would ask them?
Um, my first question is, what are they looking for? As while I'm asking what are they looking for, I'm looking at their hair. Because
Mhm.
you can tell me what you're looking for, but I know as a professional if we can achieve that. Because I think a lot of people have false expectations. And they look in a magazine, I want my hair like that, but they don't have the same texture, you don't have the same length, so that goes into play a lot as well. So my first thing is, what are they looking for? And then by me looking at their hair, I can see if we can meet those expectations, or what else can we do, or I can get you here, we can't go there, and the reasons why. Sometimes, like I said, it could be the hair is damaged, so we may have to start from scratch. And a lot of people aren't, especially a lot of people aren't willing to start, from scratch, getting a nice haircut to get all the split ends off, and things like that. So I also have to see what they're looking for. If they have false expectations, then I have to like kind of work around, to see what they're willing to do, to
Yeah,
give
because
a little.
you'd be surprised that, and of course we've both experienced that people have a great attachment to your hair, even though your hair is not alive. It's attached to your skin,
Yeah,
but the look, people are deathly attached to certain length and certain
yeah.
looks, and you're like, you know what,
Yeah. And,
even
and being a professional, I just don't stress with that. If it's somebody that, I mean, hair may be really in bad shape, and it's one thing I've had something like that. The hair is in bad shape. They don't want to trim it. I will just trim as least as possible because I don't need the drama.
right.
I really don't have time, for somebody to say, "Oh, you cut all my." I don't have time for that. If you're not willing to, get your hair to a healthy state, then I know only how far our relationship can go. You're not willing to trust me as a hairstylist, and you have many, women like that. Not as many as before, but you do have women like that. And like I said, I don't need the stress in my life. I know what can be accomplished if you would allow me to do what I need to do, but if you're not willing to do that, hey, I'll give you what you want. And I mean, that's all I can do. I'm not going to cut somebody's hair off and then they looking at trying to have my head.
I know, right? Before we go to break, just briefly talk about, like, how young do you start? Because I started when I was in elementary school, and mind you, thankfully the trend is moving back towards natural hair, but I do have relaxed hair and it is colored, so and you have had to restore it back to its beautiful length. They're looking at a picture of it right now. You've done so many different things. You've done layers, you've taken a lot of my attitude on just cut it all off. But let's talk about how young should you start and what kind of questions should the parent or the guardian ask, in regards to keeping it natural. And then let's say they do want to start a relaxed look. Where do you go from there?
Okay, so let me just get clarity. Okay, so a parent that's bringing their child, how young should they start? What, come into a salon or
Right.
black chemical, or come into a salon?
Just coming into a salon, because let's say they want to keep the natural look, they're not about the relaxed look at all.
Yeah,
So but their time time is pressed, and
yeah.
they want to go ahead and get a stylist or a natural person to take care of their hair. How young do you think is okay to get started?
Uh, that's kind of like a hard question. Reason I say hard question, I think it that depends on, starts with first and foremost the financial state of the parent. Um, if they are financially able to, have their child come on a regular occasion to have their hair done, I'd say 7. But if they have like special occasions, some may come a little, say 5 years old, and they're having a christening, something like that. Okay, it's just being very careful of what's being done to the hair. I see so much premature alopecia that it's, it's kind of sad. And
Hmm.
a lot of mothers that I know um, are able to manage their kids' hair. So they don't come to a salon until maybe 10. So like I said, I come from the, the back in the day where the parents knew how to manage a child's hair at a natural state without putting a relaxer in their hair. But if it's somebody, like I say, that's financially able and they don't have the time to do their hair, I would say 7, 8, but just being careful of what's being done to the hair. Not a relaxer, not anything that's causing a lot of tension and pull on the hair. If you do have a hairstylist that is really concerned about the natural state of a child's hair, and just individuals that in itself, and really concerned about, like I say, not pulling the hair too tight, not allowing a lot of heat on it, so that when they get older, they're not suffering consequences from having their hair done too early, or having their hair done by a hairstylist that does not know the proper way to do a child's hair.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you for joining us for week one of She's Got the Look, and we're going to be continuing the conversation with Nicole from helpmamaremote.com. If you'd like to submit a question, or an issue or a topic that you want to discuss with us, send it to toctown14@gmail.com. We'll make sure that it gets to Nicole, and we will definitely answer your question either directly back by email or even talk about it on air. But stay tuned for next week.